Hello there! In this video I want to show you how I do my summer base. In summer I usually skip foundation, so this is going to be foundation free. All cream products except of course I'm going to set with a little bit of powder. So let's get into it. I have minimal products in front of me except for the powder. This is everything that I'm gonna use. I like the fact that it's so convenient. I'll be traveling soon, and the fact that I only have to pack these products for the face makeup, life-changing. I noticed that I like to start with my bronzer, blush, highlighter, and then apply a little bit of concealer on my under eyes. So if I'm not wearing foundation, I'm gonna start with my bronzer, but be aware of the fact that I do have skincare on my face, and most importantly I do have SPF on my face. In the mornings I usually apply vitamin C and SPF, and also an eye cream, and that's about it. My morning skincare is pretty minimal. So the bronzer that I'll be using today is the Fenty Beauty Matchstix in the shade Latte. I had a time in the past where instead of a cream bronzer I would use a darker concealer or foundation, so that definitely works as well as a replacer for a cream bronzer. But since I have this bronzer, I'm gonna use it, and I like to apply it right here from the top of my ear towards the center of my face, a little bit on my jawline, tip of the nose, and here on my temples. You can also use a sponge to blend this in, but I find that the brush application is a little bit more precise, so it doesn't smudge the product everywhere. I am using the Wet n Wild P50 brush. I like to drag the jawline bronzer towards my neck a little bit. For the nose bronzer I just do this left and right motion. And then here on my cheeks I tap it in. I do little tapping motions. And also kind of bringing it upwards a little bit. And here I just again tap it in. And it just warms up the face, doesn't look way too obvious. Especially when I'm not wearing foundation, I like everything to be a little bit more natural. So it's not going to be a contrast with the fact that I do have spots and freckles on my face, so I want everything to be natural. For blush, I recently got the Sheglam blush in the shade Love Cake, and I love this formula. It's a liquid blush, it blends really easily, and I don't know, it's just pretty. I usually apply the blush a bit above the bronzer and keeping it on the sides of the face. And I love this brush for liquid blush. It's the Juvia's Place Tapered Blending Brush. And again, I just do tapping motions, gently blending this in. I'm not like rubbing my skin too hard. Just gently tapping it. Look how natural that is. This brush blends it so well that it doesn't look that obvious. For highlighter again, I go for a cream one, and the one that I use is the Maybelline Face Studio Strobing Stick. It's in the shade 200. It's glowy and pretty, and I use a Sigma F03 High Cheekbone Highlighter brush. And again, gently tapping it. I don't want to move the products underneath, and I will use the leftover from my brush in the highest points of my face. This is again a very natural finish. I'm doing half of my face so you can kind of see before and after. But I still want to conceal a little bit, especially on my under eye area. But again, I will go for a lighter coverage concealer. Since my face looks so natural, I don't want my under eyes to be completely cancelled out. So I'll be using the Rimmel Kind and Free Concealer. It's in the shade Light. This is very liquidy, has a very natural finish. I concentrated in the inner portion of my under eye. And I like concealing around my nose. Right here I have a bit of redness, like some veins visible there. And a little here, where I have a tiny bit of discoloration. And if you have any other spots, of course you can spot conceal. I usually like to let this formula sit for a little bit because it has a very liquidy texture. so I kind of prefer it when it dries a little bit. I'm using a medium shadow brush from Real Techniques. This is huge, I can't possibly use this for eyeshadow, but I like to use it to blend in the concealer. And I'm again using tapping motions. The fact that I let it sit for a while, it also enhanced the coverage. This on its own has a very light coverage. I kind of like applying concealer last because it's kind of like you clean up what you just did. So if you maybe you bring the bronzer too close to the center of the face, or I don't know, whatever mistakes that you might do, I think with this step you just clean everything up. But I'm going to need to set this so it doesn't crease throughout the day. I have a powder from Too Faced here. It's the Peach Perfect powder. And I'm using a small eyeshadow brush. I'm not going to set my entire face. And this kind of a brush allows me to be precise with the powder placement, making sure that there are no creases first. I don't want to set a crease. So I blended those out and I am gonna stamp a light coat of powder in my under eye area. In my outer corner I'm careful not to go over the highlighter, and I like the fact that this brush allows me to go in my inner corner here. And I'm setting around my nose, also the side of my mouth, and I like setting my upper lip area. I suddenly remember that I have a freckle pen and I think I want to use it because again, with this kind of a natural face, skin, I think for freckles would look nice. I still have a bit of freckles. They are kind of visible with this makeup, but I have very few left because I use SPF. If you use SPF, your freckles will kind of fade over time, in my personal experience. But I want to add some more. With this one, I kind of do dots on my finger and then stamp it on my face. I feel like that gives the most natural look. Adding some on my nose. Okay, I think at this point I'm going crazy with this, so I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna spray my face with a little bit of setting spray. This is definitely an option. I don't usually do this, but I feel like I'm melting and a little bit of coolness would help me. This is the NYX matte finish setting spray, and you can still see the before and after. I didn't do my other half of the face. This is very natural. It's kind of like that my skin but better look. So I just have a little bit more color in my cheeks because I'm naturally very pale. The dark circles are a little bit diminished, so I look a little bit more awake and fresh. I've been loving this base, especially for summer. Let me know what you think, and if you have any other tips or techniques that you use, make sure to drop them in the comments below so we all learn from each other. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was useful. I wish you an extraordinary day and I will see you next time. Bye!